talk show that keeps it 100. We sit on to educate, enlighten, and entertain. We're here tonight with some of the original.
You just took it back too. I hear that intro and like, you took it back on us.
Mr. Fastlane is in the house with us tonight. What's up, man?
Yizzo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, and I'm back in the building.
And of course, we got Mark 5, the creator.
What's going on, people?
Of Open Conversation, myself, Simply D, and engineer Mrs. Divine. Also, oh, you got a mic? You talking?
No, you gonna hear my voice at least once.
And we got one of the originals. She used to be known as Cover Girl, but she doesn't like that name and doesn't want to go by that anymore. So what she wants you to do is to call in 267-368-5328 and give her a name. Those of you looking in on Ustream, you can see what the look is. He's trying to go back to the natural look. So you too, chime in. Keep those fingers excited. Give us a name for one of the original hosts of Open Conversation. So what's up, everybody? What's going on? Raining outside. It's a dreary day. Yeah, of course.
63 degrees.
60 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we don't know what Miss Darkchild is. We don't know if she's arriving late or whatever. Maybe she's stuck in traffic, but we'll see.
She forgot the address. That's what happened. We uptown.
Yeah, not downtown. Turn around. Make a U-V.
Well, everybody been seeing the post, seeing that this is our last live show here on Heat 100 Radio. It's because 2016 we want to make some changes, try to take it to the next level. So we might be back. You never know how things work. You know, it ain't Heat 100. It's nothing but love for them. You can rock with them for 2 years. 2 years. 2 years as of January. We've been, rocking with all of them and everything like that. You thought Darkchild was here. He didn't want to come down and make noise. But
yeah.
Quiet up.
Yeah.
Mr. Kev Johnson just came up in the building.
Yo, what's up?
You know what's funny? This is like the original.
What's going on, fist bump?
Hey, Speed, how are you? Since Open Conversation. So we're going to have some fun tonight.
Most definitely.
What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Chilling. Yep. So what's going on in the news? Anybody? Yes, got something?
Wow. Well, I was looking at this crazy story today where this guy in Harrisburg, 63 years old, who is HIV positive, raped a 6-year-old boy and had his homie filming.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Oh, God. That is crazy. Sad. Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. And Charlie Sheen just announced that he's HIV positive. He had all the prostitutes running getting HIV tests.
I'd like to know are they going to charge him with attempted murder? But no, he's known for quite some time, for some years, and he was having unprotected sex. I'd like to know if they want to charge him with attempted murder.
All right, let's say hi, man. Say hi to the people.
Hi, y'all. This is Kev Johnson.
Look,
Yep.
I know they're like, all right, who that?
Yeah, I'm on my box tonight, y'all. So y'all better get ready.
I doubt very seriously that white America will charge him with a crime.
I don't even. You know what?
That's right. I said it. Simply D said it. You want to get at it?
White privileges.
OC Simply D at gmail.com. I dare you.
Oh, Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
Not too much money.
Yeah, that too. And need the right cover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're paying attention to the news, I told you I was going to stay on top of this NFL story. Right now, they are still crying for the Dallas Cowboys to get rid of the defensive end, what's his name, Hardy, because of what he did to his girlfriend. But yet, no charges have been brought up on Johnny Manziel as of yet. It's still investigated.
Now, refresh our memory. What did he do?
He beat his girl. He was drunk. He was driving, and he beat his girlfriend. The police pulled them over. No charges were made. The NFL called themselves investigating, but the investigating is still pending, and nothing has been said about it. And I doubt very seriously they're going to do anything about it because he is the right color.
White
Wow.
privileges.
Because if it was any NFL black star player, they would have been suspended or set down. Yet Adrian Peterson comes to mind. What they're trying to do to Hardy, and trust me, I'm not saying that anything that these guys did was right or correct, but if you're going to do it to one, do it to the other. That's all I'm saying. Be fair all the way across the board.
Yes, I agree with that.
Well, we see how they did Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Ray Rice still ain't back.
Still ain't back in the NFL. Still. But Johnny Football is starting. Got a problem with that.
Look like something's ticking over there.
Well, listen. To the masses, the Europeans pay the ticket to go through the gate.
Mm.
Okay?
I love this guy.
Listen, they pay the ticket to go through the gate.
What, we didn't bet?
No, to the masses.
Well, we were misled in, or should I say, forcefully in.
No, what I'm saying for the weekend showcase, they pay the ticket to go through the gate. We'd rather stay home and see,
On TV.
watching on TV because I can get better, slow-mo reviews and I can argue my case
Right.
on talk radio as opposed to being down there paying $30 for a little thing of fries and one soda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Europeans,
Yeah.
they're gonna have their little friends running around like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, true.
Who,
You
might
know,
I add, was accused of raping someone. 3 people?
Mm.
Wow.
well, how about the evidence was mysteriously and erroneously disappeared from total existence?
But yet they persecute Michael Vick for
Serving his time, paying his debt to society, actually becoming an advocate and a spokesperson for the Humane Society, and yet and still you have, quote unquote, some Europeans out there in the stands and say, I can take Roethlisberger, but I can't take Vick.
Yep. Very
Yeah.
true.
So, America, AMERIKKKA, y'all heard me.
And you know what else is deep? We say now. It's amazing to me how, Black Panther Party, which was an organization that stood up for their people, who wanted to treat their people fairly, fed their people, make sure we weren't on the streets and stuff like that, or to make sure that we didn't get brutally beat and whatnot by European cops. An organization that walked around openly with guns, because Pennsylvania is an open carry state, for those of you who didn't know, was dismantled in 5-7 years? Yet you got the KKK that's still in existence.
Well, law hides behind sheets. They say justice is blind.
Yeah.
There's a reason she stands on there and holds up scales and got a blindfold on. Can't see her face either.
Exactly. It's got the half sheet.
Excuse me.
The brother got deep. The brother sit there like, okay, but she being entertained. Yo, you can also watch us on Ustream.com. Search Sadior SADIOROC. That's capital OC. Just watch behind the scene. Watch Throwback trying to duck the camera. Or later on, you can go to YouTube and search Sadior LLC and watch this show, all the past shows, some of the shows from 2 years ago, the Women's Empowerment Circle, and a lot of other shows that we talk different topics. Last week was a good show. Definitely want to tell everybody to check out Frankie's Place, Child Care.
Oh, yeah.
Down there off, what was that address? 11th and Popular. Yeah, it was. Between 11th and 10th and Popular. We had a guest, Mr. Steven, the executive director in the building, discussing some of the things that Frankie's Place do, which we're going to do a live show at their location in the future. Also, next month we're going to do a live show discussing, what is it? I can't remember. With Mama Lika. Kwanzaa. So if you want to check out last year's show, when she came on the radio station, you go to YouTube. So in January, it's going to be an interesting show. That's going to be a men and women fight. So, empowerment circle. The women's and men's empowerment circle, which we're going to discuss all the topics that individuals want to ask each other. Plus, we got a game that we're setting up. That's going to be a live stream on our YouTube channel. So look forward to the exciting things of open conversation and the million guest hosts that we have had throughout the changes.
Yeah,
So this is an exciting show. You know, we got Mr. Fastlane, Miss Cavette, aka
We don't have a name for me yet.
we don't have a name for me yet,
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Johnson. I don't know what happened to our other co-host, Ms. Darkchild. You might tune in tomorrow. She might be here. You know, daily.
We won't.
Set up the Darkchild's open conversation repeat show. I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna call her and mess with her. Like, where you at? Live on the air.
Catch the show in the dark.
Yeah. Shots fired. Don't they say shots fired?
Shots fired over.
Shots fired to my girl, Liz. I don't know if y'all seen her at the meet and greet. She's going as Casper the Friendly Ghost. I don't know if y'all caught her or not. Or on the last Thursday show, she was supposed to come and she didn't. This our last show, man. I ain't holding no punches. Look, I'm going to change my cell number anyway every year. So. Look. There you go. Shoot him again. There you go. Shout out to Mr. Devine. Good guy. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We can play that song. Shout out to DJ Manny Strong. I always can depend on this dude. He home sick, sniffling and sneezing. I hope you feel better, brother. But I still got that mix from him. So shout out to him for taking care of business, being a stand-up dude. We'll be right back. You're tuned in to Sadior Presents Open Conversation here on Heat 100 Radio. I'm going to go put my ear to the door real quick because one of the CEOs of Heat 100 is in the office. I'm going to go be news flex. Got the door shut. I don't know what's going on. We're going to go find out. We'll be right back.
Little Red Corvette.
I don't like that name. I don't like you with that name. Red Corvette. Trying to get rid of your name.
What's up, Ustream?
Hey, y'all see me? It's kind of dark.
You don't want to cover girl anymore. I'm not cover girl anymore. What's that?
That is me on Jerry Springer today.
How you know they're from?
Seriously, that's me.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Listen, paparazzi moment, baby.
No, actually, I was in the audience. Yeah.
Did you get to ask questions? Okay, cool.
When
that movie shown?
It was the day.
You want again?
No, they replayed.
Oh, they replayed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went last.
What was it about? I
Um,
might have to on demand this bad boy.
so it was about this chick that was having sex with this boy in the bathroom at work. The boy had a girl, so she was not him off in the bathroom at the job. So of course, you know, they say you got to ask something crazy if you want your question to be asked.
Okay.
Look, since you like having sex in the bathroom, Jerry got a whole lot of bathrooms around here. Let's go get it in right now.
You said that to somebody?
Absolutely.
I would love that. Like this, my boy.
I've been trying to catch it, and girl came to work like, I see you on Jerry today.
Tomorrow night.
You good? We ain't on. Put you right next to Kelly. Stop right there.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's going on? You got a ride, I see, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm really sure like it.
Listen, ain't nothing but listen. I just came from seeing James Bond last night, and as I say, I always said I should have been the first black James Bond. That's right. I like fine women, good looking cars, and a nice drink too. And look, and dress good too. Just keep both the snake on the train in one scene. I had on a white chucks.
Yeah, I love it. You see, I posted that the other day.
Hopefully you tuned in to Open Conversation on Heat 100 Radio. We got a house full. Let's Greg go down. Greg go down. Boys, no, men versus boys.
You might have to cut that. You know, somebody told me that I look familiar. I told them I do porn. Yeah, man. Yeah, I look familiar. I do porn. Oh, jeez.
So we used to, don't forget. The things that said in Open Conversation and Mark 5 was not respected.
Get right at the fresh fruit.
Five children. No, it really came from, that was one of my favorite cartoons. Speed Racer. Huh? In the group that I was in, there was always 5 members. When Open Conversation first started, there was so many.
Listen, Alfalfa had a big thing for her. You got to be up like time. That numbers was all good.
They come back. 30 seconds. It would be a long song. Get one song right there. Have this dumb moment. Then you're gonna just go into the song. Have some fun. 20 seconds. You bring it back. No, I bring it back. You gotta come no more. 10 seconds. I like this song though. That song is great. And we are back in the building. You're tuned in to Store Presents Open Conversation show here on Heat 100 Radio, the station that keeps it 100. Make sure you check us out on Ustream. Search Sadior, Sadior, capital O-C, or follow us. And I'm gonna make sure everybody get a social media site so you can check out some of the pictures and all that good stuff. But now it's time for Simply D's Dum Dum Moment. We are about to, I was told to stretch it out. Look, he gave me the rolling drum. We're going to go to Simply D's Dum Dum Moment.
Simply D's Dum Dum Moment for Open Conversation. He's 100 Radio.
Yeah, we wait a couple weeks. We got about a 2-week build up.
So this week's Dum Dum Moment is titled, I Know You Got a New Job. All right, so check this out, homie. I got this dude that works with me. So the other day, he told me he needed the weekend off, which was Saturday and Sunday. He then said that he gave the slip for his request to my boss. Conveniently or inconveniently, my boss lost the slip, so then he said I requested Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Which was a lie. I could have not have done that, but okay, whatever. We give him Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It then calls my boss on Sunday and says, I need Monday off. I'm at the hospital. Huh? Really? You just went away for the weekend, now you're at the hospital? Dumb, I know you got a new job. Anyway, he says, I need Monday off, I can't come to work. Okay. Then he calls back after not answering the phone for about 12 hours and says he needs the rest of the week off because he has to have surgery. Okay, dumb, when you come to work, I need to see a scar. That's what I need to see. Because you took off a whole week. That's a whole week's worth of training at your new job. I'm not a dumb. My boss may be, but I'm not. If I was on the phone, this phone call conversation would have went a whole other way. So just know when you come to the job, dumb, when you come back to work, I need to see a scar that says you had a surgery. Otherwise, you might find yourself on the board for this job. And that's my dum moment for this season.
You better run. Mike's on.
After he told
Instead of being
me,
straight
I started
up.
a new job.
You should have just been straight up. You know what I mean? Like, look.
So he told you first, and decided.
Yeah, he told me first, oh, I got this in the job. Okay. Can I do 11 to 7? No. So figure it out. Okay, it's no. Somebody already in this spot. Then he said, oh, I got the weekend off. He got the weekend off. Then he calls off Monday. Then he calls back after he can't reach him. Scary. Calls back after we can't reach him for 12 hours. Oh, I got to take the rest of the week at the hospital. I get surgery. Really?
Oh, so he has the minute slip.
He better have something.
You gotta have it. I mean, you know, I know what the HIPAA law
Yeah,
says. They're not allowed to
yeah.
discuss
But we can
personal
fake,
information, but
Yeah.
we can check your present and absent status.
yeah, we can fake those slips. I can slip the doctor a couple dollars. I want to see a fresh scar.
Whether they was there or not, I mean, you know, they're not discussing medical situations with you. All they discussing is whether they were there or not.
Exactly.
What hospital?
He didn't say. I didn't take the call. My boss took the call. That's why I said I want to see a fresh surgery scar.
Oh, your boss just let him hang himself. That's all.
Basically.
Look, boss.
At least have your stuff together when you do a move like that. All right, take it easy, y'all.
All right.
All right. I'll see y'all no more. Pleasure.
All right, baby.
Yeah. Hey, you good, man. You like good. Really?
Watch yourself. Y'all get the worst yet? Don't come up in here acting like you all in love right now. Because at the meet and greet, you was all in love with Adrian all night. Y'all said the boy, y'all came together,
That's what
had
discussing
straight
old master business.
for 3 hours.
I talk to you, we're busy, you work.
Whatever.
You know what my mom always told me? Ruth, you'd be surprised if they go along with. Listen, yeah, I was talking to her.
Yes, you were.
You know what I mean?
All night you was sitting at the bar with
We would listen.
all
We would
night
listen.
long.
We were discussing things between a male and a female.
Yeah.
Okay? Understandably, you was out there chaperones and doing all of
Why
that.
When I left, she was still there. You know, remember that?
All that time you put in?
Look, just listen. Just listen. Do it like this, Mark. Do it like this. I'm Santa Claus. Okay? And last night was Christmas Eve. So I had to stop by her house. It's my job.
No, listen right here. I never disputed the fact that you should have been at her house. I said you sat there with her all night and you ain't go home with her. What's the deal?
You know, it's my job. I had to go to her house. I'm Santa Claus.
Okay, y'all, we back with
We back.
the side conversations that are going on in this studio.
Yes.
Crazy, off the chain.
I think they're
Anyway,
intelligently.
we're still waiting for a name for one of our original hosts. You can call in
Call in.
267-368-5328.
Oh, it's a contest.
Name her.
Yeah, we're trying to give you a name.
Oh, it's a contest.
It's not a contest. It's just we're just trying to find you a name.
Yeah, something striking. But anyway, so walking in the studio that just joined us in what how should I describe it? The Nancy lady or the
No, you can say my name.
the sex toy?
Say my name. She said say the name.
Right?
So
You heard that.
No, that's not my name.
Wait a minute.
Let's have a contest for you to find out my real name.
Here you go. What is your name?
Naya.
Tanea.
Tanea.
Because I could definitely start the contest with that one.
Yeah. Tanea.
You know, let's have a contest to find out her real name. I got Franklin and a Magnum in my pocket. Let's see. Let's drop that. You can feel this. Well, let's have
But the name is for you to say.
Wow. Here we
I love
go.
this guy.
Here
I
we go.
love him. Okay, I
Wow.
love him.
Okay, what you got to say?
Wow, put me on the spot. I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. Like, listen, I'm just going with the flow right there.
All right, cool. So anyway, the topic was men versus boys, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what the topic
That's
is.
deep.
A man versus a boy. How do you know when you're dealing with a man, or when do you become a man and not a boy anymore? I guess that's what we look at. There was a list of stuff that was, I don't have my phone in front of me. Things that a boy does and things that a list of things that a man does. I gotta get my phone to get that list.
Oh, can I start from the beginning with it?
Go ahead.
All right, so first of all, I know I'm a text girl, but if a man is always texting me and can't call me, it's a little issue right there. Like, you got a whole bunch of little boyish things going on if you only texting. If he can't call you on the phone and have a conversation with you, some little boyish things going on there. That's what I just wanted to say.
Well, I really have to disagree with that because today's
You can't have a real conversation on the phone?
no, you actually I agree. You're supposed to have a real conversation.
At
on the
least
phone.
one.
However, today's dating world has adapted this text first type of conversation, and I can tell you anything to text message.
Yeah, good morning. That sounds good.
Yeah, but I mean,
But for a whole week, I talk to you through a text message, and you never call me, and we never have a conversation.
Well, I
well,
was busy.
No,
I
texting is
thought
not
about
for
it.
conversation. I hate texting anyway.
I
Text
love
too
texting.
tedious.
I'm a text girl.
You texting
I'm
somebody now?
No, I'm not. I'm a talker.
I'm a text girl.
I'm a talker. I like to talk. Like when I talk to people, I talk on the phone with them for hours. Like seriously.
Right.
But
We
I
gotta
hate
have a
texting.
conversation.
I hate
You got-
texting.
I gotta
You
have-
can't
you can't get to know somebody.
through
You can't get to know somebody through a text message.
I agree with that.
You can't.
I agree with
Come
that.
on. You gotta have a conversation with me.
I do
Because you
agree
can't.
with that.
You gotta stimulate my mind in some kind of way, and a text message ain't stimulating.
Okay.
So you got something.
well, if your text game is good, it's going to stimulate something.
Are you texting or sexting? Like it's a
Yeah,
difference.
it's a whole difference. It's a whole difference. Listen, I'm with you on that.
Wow.
I want to
Okay.
stimulate something.
I honestly would like to know how in the world did the conversation last as long as a week through
Right, that's what I'm saying.
emojis
You broke all the time.
emojis or whatever the heck they're called.
Right. Right.
I'd like to know just what did he
Say.
okay
Say for a whole week.
or
It's a
text
whole
for a whole week or sex for a whole week or what exactly kept your interest going to talk to somebody?
I never said I did. I'm saying if you're texting me for, I might give you a week. You know what I mean? If you can't call me within that first couple of days, I probably won't even respond to your text. But I'm just saying, if you just texting, and you got my phone number, they like you don't have my phone number.
Oh, evidently you're not the only one.
That's why I'm saying. That's how I know the boy versus the man is.
Well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Because the male species does not make him a man. I'm
It
trying
does
to get
not.
that
It
over
does
to the
not.
sisters.
It does not. It does not.
The age, because puberty kicks in and they get able to shave under their arms and do some manscaping as they call it nowadays. That does not make them a man.
It doesn't. I agree with you on that. I totally agree.
And they cutting these young boys loose. All of you women out there and all of you men out there that have had these babies and ain't raising your boys right. See, you raise your daughters, but you love your sons. That's a big problem. Okay? So all of y'all who raising all these little boys, and then you cut them loose on somebody else's daughter, and when that don't happen, when they don't treat them right, they come back home to y'all, and they living in the basement, and they lying about everything, and you know what? The cycle is just ridiculous and repetitive. Education. I think there ought to be a class in high school on how to choose a man.
Well,
There ought to be some curriculum going through for that, because I mean, at some point, not who to choose, but how to choose.
Well,
But
that
who would
would,
educate you on that?
that would be a problem too, because you have some of these teachers who are the females who are
Sleeping with
sleeping with us, and then you have some of the teachers in the Catholic school or in the Catholic church that
Oh
are.
no, say it like you mean it. The fathers. The
Yes,
priests, all the rest of them.
right,
I mean,
right.
it's been going on forever. So.
Absolutely. So,
Now
I
the
mean,
media's been
who's
exposed.
going to actually teach this class? Because it seemed like everybody wants the kids, but they want them in the wrong
And I
way.
don't think that should go on in high school, because in high school you're still understanding and developing who you are. That's why,
That's why it's a
and I don't think it's
course. It's not a. It's
yeah, I don't
not.
think
It's not how. It's not who to
But
choose.
who would teach that course?
Who would choose?
The teachers in the school
I can't
district?
say. I
But you know,
can't say
I think in that case
responsible.
it goes way deeper than school.
I
It
think so,
goes as
too.
far as the parents. Like
Yeah.
like things that I've taught my son, I've taught him things since the time that he was a little kid, like about AIDS and STDs and stuff like that. But I always made sure the conversation was age appropriate.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta stay within those boundaries. You can't be like, oh yeah, don't have sex when he's not thinking about sex.
Right.
You gotta tell him, don't touch somebody's blood if they're bleeding, go get a teacher, stuff like that. So I've always kept those conversations age appropriate. And that's what you gotta do. Like as they grow older, you tell them more and more, and you get more in depth and tell them what they need to know.
Okay. And let me just say this, because I had a conversation with a 15-year-old yesterday, and it was a very, very interesting conversation. This 15-year-old, now I know us as parents, we always want the best for our children. But the one thing that our children, and a lot of them are being robbed of, is their childhood. And this 15-year-old who is a child at Kappa, very intelligent, but he's being robbed of his childhood. Why? Because he believes the only thing in life that he's supposed to do at this point is watch TV, read books, and his parents allow him to play video games on the weekend. I said, well, when do you get a chance to hang out with your friends? Oh, well, we do at the computer lab. I said, so what do you like to do to have fun? And he didn't know what to do to have fun because his parents were programming him so much to go to school, get your education, that they forgot to allow him to enjoy his childhood and be a child. And a lot of our kids are being robbed of that because we're putting so much pressure on them to do this and do that. And then the other ones are being robbed because the parents are just, they're mentally, they're children themselves, and they don't know how to raise these kids. So the kids are going out there, they're making babies. They don't know what to do to be an adult, so they don't know how. I know myself at 13, I had to work. And it wasn't just because I needed money or I wanted money, it was to teach me responsibility. But these kids today, they're not forced to work. Their ways of communicating is through video games. And when they are out with, some of their homies, a lot of times they're out with the wrong crowd and end up getting caught up. And you see them on TV, you don't ever see the positive things, so they don't know that there is a positive world out there. They just see, oh, well, this is what they show on TV. They showing everything you see on TV with the kids is crime, sex, and homosexuality. That's it. And it doesn't matter whether it's male or female. This is what they're putting or portraying to our children. So their idea is, well, I got to do one of these three. If not, I have to do all of these three. So we have, as the adults, a lot of us have failed the kids because we haven't guided them in the correct manner. We've dropped the ball. And in order for them to make that advance into adulthood the correct way, we have to pick up the ball and stop saying, well, what I would have done, and start doing it.
Well, I think until we actually, as adults, free our minds and get out of a certain mindset, get out of your neighborhood, get out of your community, and see what the world has to offer. Because I personally think all you're doing when you're just staying in your neighborhood, staying in your community, is you're just staying on the plantation.
Mm-hmm.
You're trapped on the plantation, on your little block, the little row homes that all look alike. That's your plantation. And you need to get off. You need to escape.
and see what the world has to offer. Then you can tell your kids there's a whole world out there that you guys need to explore. You need to travel. You need to see other things and experience other things. Extend of just what's in the community or your neighborhood.
Kev, I see you over there. You had deep thought. Go ahead.
I'm in total agreement with everybody here. One thing, getting back to this boys versus men thing, is too many of them just out there astray, and it's okay for them to do as they please, when they please, how they please, and to whoever. Right now it's both, but since this discussion is about boys, we'll keep it there. But yeah, girls are just as out of control nowadays as guys are. But the fact that you have so many of these young, testosterone-filled individuals just running amok right about now, and nobody willing to check them. See, it's not okay to get checked when you're 17 and 18. It's too late. It's too late. The old African proverb, it's easier to prepare a child than to fix an adult, is so true. So these boys just want, I mean, you know, my second marriage, I argued left and right with my second wife because she didn't want me checking her son. But wait a minute, this is my son now. He ain't no stepson, this is my son. He out of pocket, and I'm gonna get all of his work. No. See, now I hear tell you, you have multiple problems with it. Oh, you know what? Couldn't nobody tell you then? Damn sure ain't nobody gonna tell him now. Now you're gonna cut loose out here in the world, and the problem is when you get like that, he's either gonna do damage to somebody else or to himself, right? He get out here and do something to somebody else's daughter because his mom did everything for him, and he expect her to do everything. Well, wait a minute. You're looking for a mom and a wife. That's not going to happen, right? But hey, there are millions of them running. There are millions of them running. They out here like crazy. And see, I look at it like the lines that they give and the excuses that they have, just BS. Because they got so much more information at their fingertips now than we did as we were coming up. Right. You know, I'm only 52, right? But there's so much more information at their fingertips for them to be able to use and expound upon, as well as soon as they get control of the English language, I'll be so much more happy. But anyway, for them to be able to use and to be able to make themselves a better person, be able to become a more productive person within society. I mean, you know, just because the generation or some people you know or the generation before you did it, that don't mean you have to do it. When do you look at me and say, you know what, I ain't had enough of that?
The thing about it is, there are so many women that allow these men to do what it is that they're doing.
Of course.
Because some women, most women, don't recognize who they are at whatever age, 30s, 40s, 20s, 16. So it's like a repeat process. You step from one man that did this to you. You go to the next man and he does this to you. But it's so comfortable for you that you just continue to deal with it and continue to deal with it. You think that's the norm, when in actuality, the real norm is for a man to respect you. The real norm is for a man to open the door for you. The real norm is for the man to pay the bill or whatever. You can pay whatever you want, but you know what I mean. So, I mean, we deal with it so much over and over and over and over again until we become complacent with the fact that, you know, this man treated me like this, or this man treated me like this, or this man treated me like that. And so many times these women even go into marriages and be in marriages for years and years and years, and their husbands still treat them like they some chick on the street. Until you, I mean, so it's a man problem, but it's a woman problem as well. So us as women, we have to stand up. That's why so many of these strong black women have these standards. And so many men are like, you got all these standards, you need to let your guard down. No, I don't need to let my guard down. You need to respect me.